got this response here, and it appears in the developer tools, which is great if your end user knows how to use the developer tools. But you're probably interested in getting this in your actual HTML web page using JavaScript. So let's go, I'm going to press up. I'm going to get all of this. Let's get this working in a HTML web page. I'm going to copy and paste it into, here's a HTML file that I prepared earlier. There we go. There's my JavaScript code. Right now, it's not being passed as JavaScript code. I need to put it in a script element. Good. If I were to save this HTML file, I'll put maybe this is a test here, just so that this page isn't completely blank. If I were to save this HTML file, what would you expect to see on the page? Probably just this, because this doesn't put anything on the page. And it doesn't put anything in the developer tools as well. Here, I'll show you. If I open this file, nothing here. Well, not much here. And, there is something, an error. Await is only valid in asynchronous functions and the top level bodies of modules. So you can use await in the developer tools here, but you can't just use await here. Instead, we have to put it in a asynchronous function. So I write async function. I give my function a name. I might call it refresh because it's loading the data. Or maybe I might call it load articles. Maybe that's a better name. And I will now move this code inside that function. There we go. Okay, now it will be happy. The error is gone. What do you expect will happen now if I run the code? Nothing gets logged. To make it easier to see the response, let's do console.log response.json. That way it should appear in the developer tools. Still nothing. Well, what if I put a console.log? Is this code even running up here? Just to check that this function is running. The function isn't even running. Why do you think that might be? Scratch your chin for me. Well, we never actually called it. We could call it down the bottom here by doing load articles. Let's do that. So when the page loads, it immediately runs this function one time. Yay! Good. So now we've got our JavaScript code that runs the request. Let's see if we can put these results on the page. I notice that the results aren't in the top level object here. They're down inside this results property. So I have to get response, I don't have access to it here. I have to get response JSON, and then I'm looking for the value for the key called results. So I do .results. Let's just try doing that for now. Let's console.log response JSON.results to see what's in there. Good. I've got an array or a list of results. Okay, now I want to put these on the page. Well, before I bother about putting on the page, I'm going to have to loop through them one at a time. I'll have to put this one on the page, and then that one on the page, and then that one on the page, and so on. To do that, we need a loop. To loop through a list in JavaScript, you can use a for loop. Something like this. So this loops through each of these things, everything in this list, and whatever it's up to right now, it'll call result. Let's put a console.log to see that that worked. Hopefully then, and I'll put another one as well, console.log. This is it's an article, I suppose. So hopefully this should run 10 times, I think, because there are 10 articles. And each time it should print the article that it's up to right now. Yay, it seemed to work, and it prints a different article every time. All right, well now I want to get them on the page. But where do I want to put them on the page? let's make an element up here that will hold all of these articles. Just a container. You could call it article list or article container. Container is a common name for it. Articles will go here. So now my page looks like this, and eventually the articles will go in this div, which has an ID of article list. So now, for each result, what do I want to do? Well, I want to make a new element on the page. I might call it article. And I need to choose what kind of element this is. I'm just going to do a div element. I need to set the contents of this new element using inner text. For now, I'll just do duck, just to keep it simple. And then, now that I've made this new element, this new div element, I need to put it on the page. Let's put it inside this div. So we'll get the article list, and we'll add this article to it. Let me show you how this works one line at a time. I'll run just the first line in here. Article, there we go. So I've got a div here. Article is a div element, but it's not on the page yet. Then I set the contents of it, and it still doesn't appear in the page. But now I can get this div, which is article, yeah, the one that I just made that's not yet on the page, and put it inside this one. And then it will appear on the page. So if we go back here, this should work. Let's refresh. Oh, I forgot that it only happens after it loads the data, so it takes a second. Good, good, good. So it's made one for every single article. Now that I have tested that that simple case works, I will try a trickier one. Let's print, well, what could I do for a result? A result has an ID, and it has a title, and it has a URL, and it has a published at. Maybe I might print the published at. I'll check that that works. Good, good. And then I think I'll add a space, and then I will add the title. Very, very good. And now you've seen how you can get contents from an API to appear on your page. I hope this has been helpful, and have fun developing things with the JavaScript Fetch API and other APIs. Bye everyone.